need a new reading chair like stat. This one's not cutting it anymore. It's a new year and I need a new chair. Hi, hello, new year, same reader. It's the year of staying the same and not evolving at all. Who needs change? Who needs growth? Who needs goals? Or am I saying all of this in an attempt at reverse psychology in hopes that I do grow a lot this year? Stay tuned to find out. Today I'm bringing you my anti-reading resolutions for the year of 2023. Anti-reading resolutions? Anti-reading resolutions. Let me explain. The idea of anti-resolutions fell into my lap recently. They're honestly not that different from resolutions, but we're not gonna talk about that because that will reveal the fact that we're just like everybody else, and we don't want that. We wanna be unique little butterflies. Okay. They're created in a way to where you're asking yourself, what do you want to stop doing? Instead of making a list of things that I want to do because I probably more than likely absolutely will not achieve any of those things. This quote in the article I read says, making an anti-resolutions list gives you an opportunity to identify some of the ways you've been making your own life harder and then use that awareness to stop doing those things. I don't know how effective this will be for me, but I'm willing to try. I've made reading resolution videos for the past few years, and I always feel really excited when making them. Like, I am pumped up, I'm excited about reading. Let's go. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to go. But then I find myself really frustrated later on in the year when I haven't stuck to any of my reading resolutions. And I don't like the fact that I get frustrated over them because they're not that serious. Like, be for real, Jesse. And yet I end up taking everything super seriously. It's a problem and I would like to take that problem and nip it in the butt. Nip, nip. So today I'm bringing you my anti-resolutions list. Let's get into it. Number one, I will not set a specific amount of books to read. Though I am gonna drop just a random number in my Goodreads reading challenge, so just mind your business if you see that. It just really bothers me when it's empty, so I'm gonna put a random number in there, but I'm not gonna pay attention to it. Last year I aimed at 100 books, and I think the year before that I aimed at 100 books as well. I don't really think having a set goal stresses me out by any means, but in the back of my mind I'm always like, you're not reading enough. You should be reading more. Why aren't you filling all of your time with reading? Read more or die. There's this overachiever version of myself that thinks he can do anything and everything. The sky's the limit. A challenge? I've never heard of a challenge. Roadblock? I'll break that with my fist. That version of me just doesn't realize that time exists, and when he does realize that time exists, he doesn't see it as an obstacle, therefore leading me to consistently setting goals that are unachievable. Round of applause for the big dreamers in the house. I'm all for dreaming big, but I'm actively working on trying to dream more realistically, which is very hard for me. Please pray for me. I need it. This year I'm just working on working reading into my everyday schedule and being satisfied with what I get read. And not necessarily like forcing myself to read every day, but choosing books over mindless activities. And hopefully in doing so, I will naturally read a lot of books. Number two, I will not be focusing on finishing book series. For the past few years in my reading resolutions videos, I have been a broken record. I want to finish more book series. I want to finish more book series. I want to finish more book series. Scratch that, bring it back. I want to finish more book series. I want to finish more book series. I want to finish more book series. Do I ever finish any of the book series? We all know the answer to this. No! You don't! It's just not my style. I'm a mess in distress. I'll never ever be calm, cool, collected. I'll always be a series halter. I get to a point in a series where I hold up my hand and I say, halt. That's enough now. I'll be back again in 10 years' time. When I finish a book series, it's a miracle that not even a scientist could explain. I know I consistently throw shade at myself for having a lot of unread book series. Imagine having your commitment issues bleeding into your reading life. What's it like to never be able to join in on discussions for series you've started but never finished? How fun is it for you to have to consistently dodge spoilers for series you've never finished? I guess I love tormenting myself. I am my own biggest bully. I am my number one hater. But with that being said, this is not really a big deal. And if I want to take 10 years between each book in a series, that's my right. Do I wish I could be a magical fairy that sticks to book series as if their life depends on it? 100%. That's how I see all of you who are able to stick to book series. You're magical fairies in my eyeballs. I wonder what I look like to y'all. Probably like a troll under the bridge. I did sweep my shelves recently and got rid of some series that I know I will never finish, which was honestly hard for me. I had to have the, hi, it's me, I'm the problem, it's me conversation, which is never fun. Number three, I will not be going on a book buying ban. Truth be told, I don't recall the last time I even attempted a book buying ban. It has been a minute. But I don't feel like I tend to buy books at a wildfire rate anymore. I need to be knocking on wood, dear God. Knock, knock, motherfucker, because I'll turn around, have a mental breakdown, and place a large book order. Anyway, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I buy books responsibly. I feel like anyone who has to say that aloud does not buy books responsibly. Just out here calling BS on myself. I buy books at an acceptable rate. Why does that not sound any better? Because it doesn't. I'm better at buying books, even though sometimes, more times than not, they sit on my shelves still and collect dust for a few years before I get around to them. And to that I say, slow and steady wins the race. I read at my own pace, so get out of my face. Why do I always feel the need to rhyme? Always. Number four, I will accept my mood reader fate. I feel like for so long I've resented being a mood reader. Like, full disclosure, I hate it! Having my mood dictate my reading life. I just hate that my reading life is wrecked by this thing that probably isn't even a real thing, and is more so used to cover up my avoidant tendencies. But you're not my therapist and we're not deconstructing this today. I just wish overall that I was more structured when it comes to my reading, and I think you can have structure in your life if you're a mood reader. I just haven't gotten there yet. I don't know when I'll get there. I don't know if I'll ever get there, and I need to accept that, even though it's hard. This year I would just like to embrace my mood reader side a little bit, just embrace it with a nice warm hug. Yes. Just like this. Be accepting of the things that just do not work for me in my reading life. It's okay not to make TBR piles. It's okay to set books aside and come back to them if you're not feeling them in the moment. That book series will be there when you're ready for it. I feel like I'll get more reading done if I accept it anyway, instead of forcing myself into a style that just doesn't work for me. Number 5, I will stop overcommitting to books. This one kind of ties into my last point, but I often make TBR piles in my head, and they're these long lists of books that I want to read in the month, or in a week, or in a few days. And when I say long, I mean like unreachable lists. Like I'd have to obtain literal superpowers in order to achieve these lists that I'm making, and that's not gonna happen because the universe is conspiring against me as is, and if they're gonna give anyone superpowers, it's gonna be Beyonce, and I'm pretty sure she already has them, so conspiracy theory. I think this is just like another layer of why I often get overwhelmed and end up just like not reading anything at all, because I create these huge lists that are in no way feasible. I think in general I just need to take it one book at a time and stop creating towers of books that I will never be able to climb. Like, let's actually focus on reading instead of making list of books. You know? Why is that concept so hard to compute? I'll never know. When will it click? Number 6, I will stop spending as much time on social media. This does tie into my reading life. Every Sunday when I get that notification of how much time I've spent on my phone, I gasp. You'd think I'd just been spoiled for a character death in the book that I'm currently reading. That's the kind of gasp I let out. I just can't help but feel like I miss out on so much reading time. Like the amount of time that I spend on my phone, I could be using a lot of that time for reading. And it's not like I'm using my Kindle app on my phone. Like, I'm not. I'm just on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Discord, I'm on Snapchat, I'm just on the socials. The problem here is that I just don't know how to do it. In those moments where I am on my phone, I don't know how to like wake up the voice in my head that's like, let's go read, Jesse, right now, reading time, hello, wake up. You know, that's my problem. I would just like to be more conscious of how and when I use it, and just be more intentional with my time as a whole. But that is a big mountain to climb over, so wish me luck. Please. I need it. All the luck. Thoughts and prayers, please. Number 7, stop being a pessimistic reader. I often will have a book that I go into with an ick, with these like nasty feelings. I'm like, I'm probably gonna hate this. I'm probably not gonna like this. This is gonna suck. And I really want to stop being that way because I feel like it sets the tone for the book. If you're going in with a bad attitude, of course you're gonna have a hard time enjoying it because you're already like setting yourself up for failure. I do think it's hard to go into books without any expectations. Like, you have expectations whether you like it or not sometimes, but I just wish I could be more balanced with my expectations going into these books. Number 8, stop with the reader guilt and reader comparison. A big thing that I would like to kind of shift into this year is to stop saying things like, I didn't read much this month, or ugh, didn't read as much as I should have, or I could have read so much more if I wasn't so lazy. I feel like it perpetuates this idea that we need to be reading a certain amount of books each month, or that we need to be putting pressure on ourselves to read more, when in reality, any reading that you get done is solid, even if it's like 2 pages a month. Solid. A paragraph. Solid. Even if it's the first line of a book. Solid. Even if it's reading the title of the book. Solid. Yeah. There's just really no reason to feel guilty over books. And I know that I like have all these things that are contradicting in this video probably, of me being like, I want to stop being on social media as much to read more. But just in general, I do want to be better about like not pressuring myself and just enjoying reading as a whole. I feel like the book community is the only place where we see people feel guilty about the little amounts that they consume each month. And it's weird, and I want it to stop for me personally. Not saying for anybody else, but for me personally, let's chill. Let's just enjoy what we've read. I don't think it's a bad thing to want to read a lot of books each month, each year, but I think it can turn into more about the amount of books we're reading and less about what we've read and how we've been impacted by the things that we have read. That's a more clear, thought out way of saying it. Number 9, stop overthinking book size. I don't stress over book size necessarily. Like, I'm not out here breaking into a sweat at the sight of a big book, breathing heavy in fear, raging at the sight of one, but I definitely fall into that hesitant lane where I'm less likely to pick up a big book just because of the fact that I know it's gonna take me a long time to get through it. And the thing is, that's not always true. Just because it's big does not mean it's gonna take you a long time to read it. Sometimes big books can be easy to sort through. It just depends. And they don't all fall into that category of big book for no reason, which is a category that I hate. Those lengthy books that are just lengthy for no reason. Like, you just know they wanted a big word count. I've read so many big books this year that felt that way, which might be why I'm less likely to pick up big books lately, but I'm gonna try to overlook that. Number 10, and my final anti-reading resolution, stop actively trying to find my next favorite book. I've low-key been on a journey to find my next favorite book of all time for the past few years, aka the next Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the book that will own my heart, the book that I will not stop talking about for the next 10 years, the book that I will take and make my entire personality. I think instead of searching for it or trying to find books that will like replicate that feeling that that book gave me, I just need to let it happen naturally. So I'm gonna do my best to just kind of take that mindset, drop it, and let fate do its thing. But please, fate, work faster, baby. I need that new favorite book to scream at everyone to read. Those are my anti-TTT resolutions. If you get that reference, we are in fact automatic besties. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments whether you are setting anti-resolutions or resolutions and goals for 2023. Let me know all your thoughts on the upcoming year, what you're excited for, what you want to accomplish with reading, or even just life goals. Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm setting a video schedule for myself this year. I'm going to be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm super excited to finally be active again. I've just been going through some stuff and I feel better. I feel creative. I feel excited for the future, and I am definitely looking forward to being back here and talking every week with you guys. I'll also be active on Instagram and TikTok this year, so if you want to follow me over there, I am at jessethereader. I hope you all feel motivated and excited for a new year. I'm super excited for 2023. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, the tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye. Hate! Okay. Why did I do this? Why was I like, oh, that's a good idea for a shot? Ow, my back is gonna be hurting. Because I create these